Kids, today we're going to read a story, and it's going to be a story that helps us learn a lesson about how to deal with big problems, and that is to put our faith in God. I know you've heard this story before, so let's listen carefully and see if we can remember the lessons that it teaches us. Today's book is titled David and Goliath. It was written by Catherine Sully and illustrated by Simone Sanfilippo. One day, young David was looking after the sheep when he heard his father calling. "Take this bread and cheese to your brothers," said his father. David's 3 older brothers were away fighting in King Saul's army. Taking the bundle, David set off at once. King Saul's army was camped on a hillside. On the other hillside, the Philistine army had gathered. It was an amazing sight. David searched among the lines of Saul's soldiers. He soon found his 3 brothers. Just then, a giant soldier stepped forward from the Philistine army. He was so tall, he towered over everyone else. He roared, "I am Goliath, tall and mighty. Who is brave enough to fight me?" Not one of King Saul's soldiers replied. They were all afraid. The soldiers talked among themselves. "The king will give a big prize to whoever kills the mighty giant Goliath," they said. "What's going on?" young David asked his brothers. "It has nothing to do with you," they said. "You're just a boy. Go home and look after the sheep." But David did not go home. He went to see King Saul in his tent. "I will fight the giant," said David. "But you're just a boy, and he is a mighty giant," said the king. "I have killed a lion and a bear that tried to attack my sheep," said David. "I was not afraid because God looked after me." King Saul gave David a helmet, armor, and a sword. David put them on. They were much too big. He tried walking around the tent. "I can't wear these," he said. "I'm not used to them." He took them off. Instead, David took his sling and his pouch and he went down to the stream. There he found 5 smooth stones and he put them in his pouch. "My sling was all I needed to fight the lion and the bear," he thought. "God will look after me." David went down to meet Goliath. The giant towered over him. He roared, "I am Goliath, tall and mighty. Who is brave enough to fight me?" "I am," answered David. "Will you fight me with that stick?" sneered Goliath. Goliath was angry. Goliath lumbered toward David. David grabbed a stone from his pouch and he put it in his sling. Goliath waved his sword in the air. David let the stone fly through the air. The stone hit Goliath in the middle of his forehead. He crashed to the ground. King Saul's army cheered. "The mighty Goliath is dead," they cried. The Philistine army ran away, chased by King Saul's soldiers. Young David was a hero. The story of David and Goliath is found in the Old Testament, in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, verses 1 through 58. We're going to ask a few questions to see if you can remember the story. I'll ask the question and give you a couple seconds to answer. The first question, who was David? Why did David go find his brothers? What happened when David tried on King Saul's armor? How did David find the strength to fight Goliath? Did you get the answers correct on those questions? I hope so. Well, that's our story, David and Goliath. It's one of my favorite stories out of the Old Testament because I love the story of David and Goliath because it teaches us a couple of things. One, it teaches us to have faith in God. God will give us the strength and power to deal with whatever situation we need to deal with. He's there for us. He takes care of us. But the other thing it teaches us, and this is especially important for you kids, is that it doesn't matter what size you are. You can be a young boy or a young girl, like David was a young boy in this story, or you can be a grown-up. God has a plan for you. God loves you, and he wants you to love him back. So it doesn't matter what size you are. You can still do things for God. Show your kindness. Show your love. Be patient with your friends and your family. Do the things that God teaches us, and you can be just like the little boy David, brave and strong and faithful in God. We'll see you next time. Love y'all. Miss y'all.